because I was thinking they were going to run double Ragnar. Double Ragnar is not unheard of or uncommon.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In any region, because of how popular it is in 2v2s. But it's going to be Brawlhalla and Ragnar going against the Brynn and Hattori of Cedero and Cedero. I love that there's like these standard team combinations that come from teams, no matter what region it's in, where it's just kind of like, yeah, being able to have 2 spears on a team or 2 swords on a team or 2 axes on a team to be able to pull off those team combos is very common, and Brynn and Hattori is something that we see time and time again.
And if you talk about like just kind of middle of the road characters, which like that doesn't necessarily sound the best, but like in Brawlhalla, like middle of the road characters with like middle of the road stat lines and middle of the road weapons are like really good.
Yeah.
Like that's very highly valued in Brawlhalla. Like of sword characters, like Hattori's pretty good. And Brynn for spear and axe characters, pretty good.
Absolutely. Game number 1 of Mammoth Fortress once again. And opening up completely even here is Pavelski, gets that sideline there on multiple enemies on the screen. There's the neutral sig. Catching Cedero towards the top of the stage, and Diakou holding onto the stage and not winning out on that down air. Cedero just keeping both of his opponents off the stage as that Nair wins out. Can he go for the grab? He gets it down. He can. Oh, man, Diakou just eliminated from from view. Like, they didn't even get knocked off. He just got deleted.
Yeah, he got pinballed, and then his pixels just disappeared. Did he turn that around? He turns that around.
He didn't
even
turn. He dodged through the spear ground pound, right? Like through the helicopter blades, unscathed, and then went back down to ground pound it to his death. Pavelski with an amazing turnaround. The side stick from Cedero does finish that stock off, and in under a minute, everybody is just completely fresh. As if nothing happened. Oh, Diakou. The gravity cancel D-Light towards the top of the stage. That will take out anybody no matter how much damage that you got. Goes to that ground pound. The Nair stops. Oh, Diakou ground pound down there. Can he get it again? No. Cedero applying the damage. That's the thing with 4 defense Brawlhalla, right? He got hit by like 2 axe recoveries in his own, in deep orange. Now in red, Diakou might as well, it just takes one more string of attacks to be able to take out Brawlhalla's second stock here. And Daikou's got to be very careful about that. Oh, wow, Cedero just getting knocked around.
But like same thing basically goes for Cedero Hattori.
That's true.
He is using defense stance, so it's 4
to
5.
I always feel like Hattori is tankier than the stats say, but that's like not actually true. It's just
it's all mental.
It's like I remember when Bodvar was being played every game, and it felt like he had 10 defense. Yeah. Like that was just a thing that was said. It's also notable that like the amount of defense that you get or lose, depending on like what stance you go into, is much more significant towards that middle of the pack area. So 4 to 5 is much bigger. But Diakou and Pavelski in a slight lead here. If Diakou can make it back, I'm surprised that Downer didn't do it. Oh, Pavelski
tried.
There was no point going any deeper for that, though. Cedero significantly damaged here.
I think one of the things Pavelski...
Oh, Cedero! I thought the recovery... Was the recovery gone?
It might have been. I can't remember if his character was grayed out or not. That had to have been it.
Yeah, because that was, like, perfect. D-Light Cider puts Cedero off stage, almost losing that second stock there, but Cedero just puts him up higher enough onto the stage to make it back, and Diakou and Pavelski fighting off stage. Ooh, Pavelski low on jumps, gets hit by that weapon toss. D-Light Cider puts Diakou off, and Daikou's taking a ton of damage. That was a little early, and then Nair kills. I felt like Cedero was alive there for sure.
Now, one thing it was interesting that Cedero did, he did the D-Light side air onto Diakou on the right side, sending Diakou away. Rather than going to try and confirm that edge guard, he immediately turned around and just like auto threw out a side air in case Pavelski was there.
Now Pavelski's in the 1v1. Guitars, anything's possible off stage. The weapon toss comes down, but Cedero just goes back on the stage to get the sword. Pavelski not afraid to engage onto Cedero despite the amount of damage that he's taken. Sidelight and a downlight down air. Sidelight there. Oh Pavelski goes to the weapon toss. The dodge is gone. Doesn't get the downlight. But that is enough damage to make this completely even with the D-Light recovery. Despite all the work Pavelski puts in, Cedero is able to clutch it out. That dodge was integral to that recovery from Cedero, being able to dodge that weapon throw. And because Pavelski had already used so many jumps to be able to make that work in the first place, wasn't able to go for anything to be able to finish it off. Game number 2 is coming up here. Cedero and Cedero were able to, I want to say, barely clutch that last game, even though they were in the lead the entire time, but...
And a lot of that actually was due heavily in part to Cedero. He picked up 5 of the kills. He put out more damage than Zero did. He was surviving longer because he was in the 1v1 situation at the end. So that was kind of Cedero taking a big amount of the load, putting that on his back and just carrying that game for the red team.
Game 2's coming up, and no legend character change or legend swaps coming up. Mammoth Fortress once again. Diakou dodging straight into fight against Cedero. Doesn't win out that exchange. Doesn't pick up the weapon either. Now Pavelski's fighting out against Cedero by himself. Diakou still denied of a weapon. It spawns in, and Pavelski somewhat keeping him away. But now an axe is in his hands, and he stares Cedero away from him. As some damage is being now dished out. Ooh, off stage. Down airs galore. Doesn't matter who he's connecting with.
Yeah, unfortunately, the second one ended up hitting Pavelski.
Oh no, Diakou
wow,
just done.
Big ground pound, the recovery.
Pavelski, no! Okay, he makes it back, he recovers him.
It seemed like they were both in the zone of like,
Oh.
I'll save you. Now you save me, I'll save you.
I swear the beginning of these games are coming out off stage, and Daikou's just trying to make it back, and he's getting hit by moves that's like saving him, but they're also just doing an immense amount of damage to him. By the time he makes it back, it just takes one hit to finish him off. And they're in a recovery. Oh no, Diakou. Weapon toss interrupts the recovery, manages to dodge back. Zero now down aired by Diakou himself. Weapon toss can't get it back, and Zero's gone. Diakou with a good edge guard. Pavelski falls shortly afterwards, and he can't find it onto Cedero. Cedero with an amazing Sair and a ground pound. Double ground pound to Diakou. Can Diakou make it back? It's okay. He does dive kick back. Good dodge angle from Diakou, using every bit of air mobility that he possibly can. Cedero goes down. Diakou stared away once again. Feels like this is just recovery of the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one player at a time. It's just constantly struggling to make it back.
And in the meantime, Diakou has taken so much damage. He's about to lose his second stock, and he does. He's on his final stock.
Oh, Zero!
A minute and a half into this game. Pavelski needs something huge here.
Cedero is significantly damaged, but Pavelski has been struggling to make it back. He goes through the gravity castle down like that far into the sky, and the ground pound hits. And Diakou slide charging all the way with that down sig. Recovery hits twice. Zero once on Cedero once as well. Oh, but Cedero's bringing Diakou towards the top of the sky. That side sig avoided outside late in air. Goes for that chase dodge side air and goes straight to the team combo. Cedero releases the neutral sig a second too early.
That doesn't cause him any headaches, though. He doesn't immediately go like, oh no, what am I going to do now? He turned around, put some damage onto Pavelski as well, as Pavelski was coming in.
Ooh! Good dodges from Pavelski, makes it back, but significantly damaged. That ground pound's more than enough. The downer hits, the weapon toss comes out as well, and Zero. Oh, two dive kicks.
Dare.
And the falling stair. Chase dodge directly up to make a clean recovery, and Zero and Cedero now have the 1v2 against Pavelski, and with 3 stocks to 1, it's looking like this is going to be a 2-0 into the losers' quarters.
Yeah, this is going to be a very swift game coming out.
Now,
you've seen Pavelski's trying to do everything he can.
He's succeeding.
Yeah, he's
actually.
putting out some good damage
wait a second.
Here.
Okay, sider downer goes to the side stick. Pavelski, I was writing this off, but almost like what 80% of the moves that have connected been from Pavelski's ask rather.
But I mean, he has 3 stocks to go through. So he kills, best case scenario, he kills Zero here.
Listen, Pavelski's guitars are nutty. We saw that earlier on,
yeah,
right? How closely he was able to get on the Cedero. The side stick takes out Zero. Can he get Cedero as well? Down late, goes for the recovery, a little bit too late. Neutral stick was so close to spiking Cedero down. Weapon toss is avoided, and Pavelski gets Sair. That's it. I mean, Pavelski made it look really, really good. And look at the damage done by Diakou. Okay, so you know what? You told me to suck it earlier, but let's face it. I feel like he had trouble living.
I don't think that was
Jala.
necessarily due heavily in part to Jala. I think if he would have had even 1 or 2 more defense points, I think the situations that he was in, the result
would have been the same.
Would have maybe been the same. Maybe a little bit delayed in time, like he would have survived longer. But
it is hard to play Jala in 2s.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
But yeah.
I play a 4 defense character, so I understand the plight of having 4 defense.
4 defense is rough.
And I use defense stance, so I don't even really play a 4 defense character. I play a 5 defense character.
But yeah, that was a great showing from